Hey everyone, I'm Basanta from Smart Tech Guide. In this guide or video, I'm going to talk about a couple of tips about traveling. First of all, I want to say that if you're traveling right now because of this flu going on, I don't say the name, but this flu going on all around the world, especially China centered. Be aware, wear mask, and be aware, don't get into crowd as soon as you can, and avoid crowds. I mean, avoid affected area as long as you can, and be safe. Let's start on the tips. There are some tips that you may think with the perspective of financial and technical standpoints. These are basically like booking tickets early. You should book tickets 2-3 months prior to your visit, is if you can, but sometimes there may be a immediate plan. But if you have long-term plan, do not wait for the ticket to purchase the tickets basically. And before you actually buy tickets, you have to get the quotes from different vendors, different travel agents, like Expedia, Priceline, or if you know some other travel agents, Cheapair, that are online travel agents. There may be a company you know on your local place. You may visit them and then get the quotes. But get quotes from multiple travel agents, compare the prices. Also go to Google Flights and compare the price, track the price. In Google Flight, it allows you to track the price. It will notify you when a flight price goes down or goes up, and wait for a couple of days, and don't hesitate or don't worry if one day it goes up, next day it might go down. Most of the time some travel agents book for 72 hours and then release the tickets, and that's why sometimes it goes up and then down, up and then down. So you have to catch that time frame. For that you need to monitor the flight price, and that you can do with Google Flights, or there are some other um, websites also. Even Expedia and Priceline kinda do that if you do visit them daily. So track them and then buy at the perfect deal, best deal. And when you buy the tickets, online airline tickets, always have a habit to buy from original airline. Like I said, if you buy Etihad Airlines flight, then you should buy it from Etihad, not from Expedia or Priceline, or not even from Google or any other. The reason is there may be some scam travel agents, like I don't think of anything right now, but couple years back one of my friend bought ticket online from one of the travel agent. It was somewhat kind of like Cheapair, but that's a real one. There was some fake travel agent. He bought it from there, and then the next day he doesn't get the ticket. He lost the money. That kind of things does not happen if you buy from original airlines. And sometimes there may be a scenario you want to buy it from the agent. For example, cashback scenario. If you get 5% cashback on Expedia purchase, then you may want to buy it from Expedia then from Etihad, for example. With 5%, if you buy $1,000 international flight, in that case it will be $50. That makes sense. But if you are not getting any cashback or anything, then in that case you should use the original airline websites. or airline office local to your town. So that's one thing. And for Wi-Fi, like if you are traveling, you may or may not have data roaming. So if you have data roaming and if you have the network coverage, then you are good. But if you don't have that, then you may need to find free Wi-Fi spots. For that, check out local libraries, Starbucks or McDonald's, or any cafes. Nowadays almost all the cafes, restaurants and hotel has free Wi-Fi. For hotel you may have to stay, for restaurant you may have to eat something, for cafe you may have to some drink or some soft drink, coffee or something like that, but you will get free Wi-Fi. Book the tickets for your place online. Do not buy at the gate. For example, if you are going Universal Studio, buy it online. If you are going some other Disney, then buy it online. If you buy it online, you will get a cheaper price, and it will be lot cheaper than store price, in gate price. And one other thing is, if you buy online, you may have option to choose multiple things in package that reduce the overall price. That is, if you are visiting national park, there may be inside bus that take you all around. You have to pay for that, and you have to pay for national park entry. In that case, if you buy combo, it may be cheaper. That's the scenario, and it applies for everywhere, even within Universal Studio. If you buy this, it will be cheaper. If you buy this and this, it will be even more cheaper, that kind of thing. Use credit card with no foreign transaction fees, and carry out some cash. At least if you are traveling abroad, like international travel, you should carry at least $200-300 cash, and but spread it over different places on your luggage or and wallet. Do not put everything in one place. And if you are going or visiting local place, then it $20-40-50 should be enough, but do not put everything in one place. And use the card with no foreign transaction fees saves you on international transaction. For example, most of the credit cards has 2.5, 3 or 5% of international transaction fee. You will save that if you use the card with no foreign transaction fee. There are banks like some of the card from American Express, some of the card from Discover or Capital One do not charge foreign transaction fee. Use those cards instead of other cards on all international trip cost. Save Google offline map. Whenever you visit new place or new town, you may not know all these places. In that case, you need some kind of guidance that comes from Google Map, and you may not have data while you are visiting different place. While you are in roaming, you may not have data or Wi-Fi. In that case, the Google offline map is your friend. So to do that, let me show you how to do that. Okay, and this is my Android phone. Here let me go to map. Recently in Android, Google changed the menu icon from left 3 bar horizontal bar to the profile picture icon on the right. It put everything over there, and if you go there in menu, there is offline map section. There you can download your maps and choose maps based on your travel. Like if you are traveling south and north, then you should save your map on portrait mode, just like this. But if you are traveling east to west, if you save in this format, it will consume a lot of space on north south, but less space on the east west. So for that, just bring down your phone to horizontal landscape mode and then save it. In this case, you will save a lot space, and then you can still keep your map, required map. You don't need every map, right? All the map, you just need some map for your direction and wherever you go on the route. In that case, you just keep that. If you do vertical and try to do the same thing on the east to west, then it will take double the space. So you can save space on that. The reason you need to save the space is you will be using the same phone for capturing all the pictures, maybe, or you may have different camera, but definitely nowadays phone is the primary source for photography. So you may want to save all the most of the disk space for the photos. Not you may not want to save all these maps and pull the memory. So that's why you need to be careful and save only what you need. Another thing is learn basic phrases in native language. For example, if you are visiting in Spanish or French, learn basic hello, hi, and food, restaurant kind of stuff in their language. So it's easy for you to travel, and then just in case if you need to ask about restaurant, you can ask with their language. That's pretty easy. And one other thing is use Google Translator offline. Again, here you need to save offline because you may not have data access. Let me show you that. Let me open first and then Translator, TRA. I'm opening. Okay. This is Google Translate, and if you go to the menu, 3 horizontal bar, top left corner, you will see offline translation, and there you have option to choose a lot of language. You just need 1 or 2 language based on your destination. If you are going to visit Montreal, for example, you just need French. If you are going to visit some place in Mexico, you just need Spanish. If you are going to visit somewhere in Portugal, Portuguese, that kind of. If you are visiting Southern America, but you are not sure about whether it's Spanish or Portugal, in that case, save both. So it doesn't really cost you a lot of space, but it's good idea to have both, because you don't know what language it's gonna be there when you visit. So that's one thing. And again, here do not save everything, just save what you need, or in case you are not confident which language to save, then save a couple of and how to do real-time translation. That the earlier one was kind of offline, saving offline and then doing translation. And there are a couple of features in real-time translation. If you get Wi-Fi or if you have data roaming, you can really use real-time translation. For example, this camera icon over here, or this conversation over here, or the voice over here. These are the real-time translation features. With camera, there are 3 more options. One is like translation, instant translation. For example, this right now I have English in my laptop, and this mobile shows in Spanish. It's not perfect, so you need to kind of rotate your phone a little bit and then make it on the straight line and try to notice the text, but it does work really well. And this is instant, and you can also do scan and capture and then translate. If you want to read it clearly, then this may be another good idea. For example, just scan with this camera shutter icon. It will scan and now it highlighted all these text. If you use your finger to highlight, and then it will pop up the translation on top of the picture, and this picture won't save in your camera. And some old Android device, if it save, it doesn't matter, you can just delete it right after, but it doesn't usually save. And this is one thing. And last thing on the camera side is you can actually import. For example, you are driving across the road, and then you see some really good sign, and it may be attraction, but you don't understand what was it. Just click the picture of that, and then use this feature, uh, this import feature. That's all, and then it will show what is this, what was that. And if you need to go to that place, if it was a really good attraction, you can visit that back. Next is voice. With that, you can choose which voice you want to translate. For example, if you are translating from Spanish to English, you can choose, or if you are translating from English to Spanish, you can change that on the top level, and then click on voice. And one more other thing that's really the brilliant thing, or that's the best thing in translation, is conversation. Let's say if you are talking with your driver on foreign country, you understand English, your driver understands only Portuguese, for example, or only Spanish, for example. He doesn't understand English, you doesn't understand Spanish. In that case, if you do conversation, and if you do auto, hola, ¿cómo está? Let me put my volume on and restart. Hola, ¿cómo está?
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Estoy bien, gracias.
Like this, first your driver says hola, ¿cómo está? And you says, and it takes couple seconds to translate. You have to wait for that pause, 2 to 3 seconds, and then it translate it into English for you, and you listen that English, and then you speak in English, and then it after another 2-3 seconds it translates back into Spanish. You don't have to do anything, you just have to do that auto conversation, and then auto right in the middle. That's all. If you don't feel comfortable on auto, you can just do English or Spanish right from there also. And that's about translation. And that works on when you have data or Wi-Fi connection, so use that whenever you can. And if you're traveling abroad, like international travel, don't forget to forward all your calls and text to Google Voice, so that you don't miss any of your call from any friend or anyone. If you try, you have to forward all the calls before you leave United States. I do this all the times. When you leave the last airport of United States, just forward it to your Google Voice. Then every calls will go to your Google Voice, and if you forward your text, every text will go to your Google Voice. You can reply them back from the Google Voice number. If you have some kind of mobile application that allows you to text or call with same number, then you can still use that with Wi-Fi or data from secondary SIM, but you don't want to use SIM call, like call or text from direct SIM in roaming mode. In that case, it will cost you $1 or more per minute of talk and per text. That's very expensive. You may not want that. So just forward everything to Google Voice. If you know you don't know how to get Google Voice number, please watch my previous video. I have video about how to get Google Voice number for lifetime for free. Watch that. I'll post the link in the description section, and then you are good to go. That's all about today. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe and share my channel and videos, like my Facebook page, and don't forget to click on the bell icon next to subscribe button to get notified of my future videos. If you haven't watched my previous videos, go ahead and watch. Feel free to comment if you like to know something or have feedback for me. Until next video, have a good time. Bye bye.